welcome to another segment of Michigan Conservative Roundtable. My name's TJ, and I'm going to, if you haven't figured it out by now, I'm going to be the gun guy of the group. And today's segment is going to be what I chose for me, my personal choice of my carry firearm. And to get to the short of it, I chose the 23C. This is a .40 caliber. But before I get into how I came to my decision, I'm going to go through a few things here. First, obey all gun laws. Secondly, practice gun safety. Previous video we talked about it. Treat all firearms as if they were loaded. Always keep your finger off the trigger. Make sure the weapon's clear before handing it off to someone else. Keep the barrel pointed in a safe direction. Barrels are pointed there. That is the safe direction at this time. And also be a good ambassador. And I know you've heard these in the previous videos perhaps, but just wanted to review them real quick. Now, as to how I came to my decision of the Glock. And it's kind of an interesting evolution on my part. Originally I was a gun snob, to use Mac's term. And I was a SIG guy. For the longest time, I was a SIG guy. And I kind of still am, but I have to be honest here. And I'm on my second SIG. This is my second SIG, using the first SIG for parts because springs and whatnot break down, and I just kind of cannibalize from the one and put it on the other when that happens. But what happened was, initially I was a SIG guy. This is a SIG 2269 9mm, and it comes with a 15 round magazine. And so I had the SIG, and then in the mid 1990s the Glocks started getting popular, and me being a gun guy, I said, well, let me buy a Glock. And so in the mid 1990s, if you guys recall, Bill Clinton was the president, and the Democrats controlled the House. And remember what happened when Democrats controlled the House, the Senate, and the White House? They instituted the gun ban, or the gun assault weapons ban, I think is what it was called, where they made you get a 10-round magazine, or 10-round magazine for all your weapons. This is a 10-round 226 mag. This is a 10-round Glock mag. Okay? So, I'm going to buy a new handgun, and it's going to be a Glock, and I'm thinking, well, if all I'm going to get is 10 rounds, because of the gun law at the time, if all I'm going to get are 10 rounds, I think I'm going to go with the .40. I'd rather have 10 rounds of .40, because that's what this is. This is a .40. And I said, well, I think I want 10 rounds of .40 as opposed to 10 rounds of 9. Nothing necessarily against the calibers. The purists out there are going to want to argue with me. Personal choice, okay? What I choose for me might not be the same that Mac or whoever will choose for themselves. I would tell you, if you remember from the previous video, whatever you choose, make sure you master, okay? So, since I knew I was only going to have 10 rounds, I went with the Glock, because I figured I'd rather have 10.40 than 10.9. So I go to the range, and I take the SIG, because I'm a SIG guy, but I'm taking the Glock too, okay? And as I'm shooting both, after about 2 or 3 years, I notice, because I'm trying to be honest with myself, I notice I'm shooting the Glock better than the SIG. And I don't know when the light switch turned on, but at some point I said, holy cow, I'm shooting the Glock 40 better than the SIG 9. And I'll tell you, part of the reason why I chose both of these is neither of them have conventional safeties. If you notice, this has a decocker, not a true safety, a decocker, okay? And the slide catch, all right? Finger off the trigger, everyone. And the Glock has a safe action trigger and no safety, just a slide catch. So my choice for both of these was really simplicity because of, if you recall, I wanted to avoid operator error in the heat of the moment at the worst time of your life, all because of a safety mechanism. So, as I was saying, the more I shot this, the more it became apparent I was shooting the Glock 23C better than my better than my SIG 226. And if you recall, I said you carry the weapon you master. Well, I'm shooting this better, so this is going to be my first choice for me. Since then, the law has expired, without getting too deep into that whole political quagmire. So now I've been able to get 13-round mags for this. And I also have 15-round mags for this. And if I was in a situation where I wanted maximum firepower, I'd probably go with the SIG, 15 rounds, 2 of these. That gives you what 45? So that's why I would choose a 226 under those conditions. I also wanted to show the holster. I got this holster in the budget bin of all places, but this is a really cool holster. I advocate the open, no snap over the top, because in the heat of the moment, Lord God Almighty, don't be fumbling with a snap. Okay, you can't be fumbling with a snap if it's going down. Don't be fumbling with a snap. You're going to have a retention screw, and the way I was always trained was you tighten the retention screw to the point where it holds the weapon in place. Once it holds the weapon in place, then you know the screw's tight enough. That's how I've always done it. Perhaps someone has other thoughts on that, but that's the way I was taught. Okay? I have a single round that I use for my Glock. So those are my thoughts. And that's how a Glock guy, or that's how a SIG guy became a Glock guy. Okay? I still like them both. I'm a SIG guy, but I'm a Glock guy too. So I guess I'm a Glock guy. And that about does it for this video. My next video will be a gun video, so don't worry. It's going to be the lost art. And you might be wondering, what's the lost art? Well, you're going to have to watch and find out. Okay? So, hope you liked it. If you did, please share, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And as we like to say here on the Michigan Conservative Roundtable, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.